So after a long chase, I must say, Mr. Jaeger, we finally get to meet with well, the most famous Australian sailor after Mr. Polakov.
Yeah.
But Mr. Polakov now only rides Jaws every now and then. And okay, you've been off the water for some time for a little incident.
Yeah, I injured my ankle in Maui 6 weeks ago, and I tore 4 ligaments. So I've just been taking it easy for a little while, and I probably won't be sailing again 100% for maybe another 2, 3, 4 weeks. But I'll see how I go today and strap it up and just take it easy. And if it's too sore, I won't bother. But if it feels okay, I'll sail a little bit.
But I understand you're actually a physiotherapist, so you're like in the right business. Take care of yourself, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have some really good friends that are physios as well, and my boss is a windsurfer, so we talk through all these things, and yeah, I feel like I understand my body quite well and what exercises to do and when to start and when to stop. So yeah, it's just part of the process. And I mean, I guess when you have an injury, you also just need to give your body time to heal, and it just takes time.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the coming season. Will you be able to join from the first start of the PWA?
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping to start sailing full time again and as hard as I can from probably Christmas onwards, really. I'll have the starboard and Severn photo shoots in January, February, and then
Where's
go back in Margaret River or Esperance, probably somewhere down south, wherever there's good waves. And yeah, we'll be sailing with Philip quite a bit for that, and then yeah, go to Maui in, I don't know, late February, March, and train some more starboard tack and get ready for the tour again.
Okay. Well, so where is the first stop this year?
I'm not sure yet. There might be a few changes on the world tour coming up, and whether we start working with the IWT a little bit more and making some of those events
joint.
Yeah, potentially count towards the world tour. That's something we're working out, but otherwise it's still looking like potentially Pozo will be the first event of the year in June. But look, next year I'd really like to go to a couple of new places and perhaps participate in the Chile event as well. So we'll wait and see.
So now that I've come to visit you in Coronation, I know why you are so good in Pozo, because it's a starboard onshore spot, right? I mean, you feel like at home, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Coronation is sort of, the wind angle is very similar. The waves here are a little bit more, I feel like they're a bit better for wave riding, especially late in the evening. But yeah, jumping is similar. Pozo is obviously the windiest place in the world, but I mean, in terms of the wind angle and the opportunities and the amount we get to sail here, it's a pretty good training ground. WA in general is, I think, one of the best places in the world for big waves, little waves, jumping, cross off, cross on. So, yeah, all port tack.
But you would define yourself as a port tack sailor, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be more overall and all-rounded, and I feel like I put in a lot of time on starboard tack. Obviously, growing up here and living here, I do still spend probably a bit more time port tack, but I try and dedicate at least 2 to 3 months a year on starboard tack, either in Maui or Morocco, and that's my natural surfing stance. So wave riding I feel quite good, and jumping takes me a little bit of time, but I'm getting there, and I feel like I'm starting to get most of the moves other than doubles and push forwards on that tack. So yeah, but it's good fun. I love sailing starboard tack just as much, if not more, than this tack, and I feel like I learn a lot, and yeah, it's good fun. I mean, Maui's amazing, Morocco's amazing, and I'd like to go to some other good starboard tack locations too, but yeah, I mean, here as well, basically wherever I travel, I'm pretty spoiled with conditions.
So what? All windsurfers have a move that they are, trying to stick or trying to work at. What you working on at the moment?
Everything really. Doubles are obviously something that you really need in competition, so I'm always working on those.
So dry ankle doubles.
Yeah.
But you can do those.
Trying not to hurt myself. No, and I guess now the step is, trying to do doubles in conditions that aren't ideal, so really light winds or really strong winds. There's only a couple of guys that can do that. And then, the progression
so
now
Philip
is,
and Marsilio.
Yeah, Ricardo, Victor,
Okay.
Swift, you can do it as well. And those guys are all amazing windsurfers, and I look up to them a lot. And I guess the progression now is stall doubles and push forwards. So I really enjoy doing that. And just wave riding and trying to progress and just be fast and powerful and combo and yeah.
Can I ask you a technical question on the double? I mean, I've seen it two ways to do it. One is like you go in, vertigo, like stalled, and then do it on. And the other one is like you're just looking for, I'd say, length. Like you have a lot of speed and you rotate on the horizontal plane,
Yeah.
which looks very less dangerous. Is that? I mean, what's your favorite way? Is there a way to do it better?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just learning still. Half the time I don't even know what I'm doing. But look, in strong winds, like the really good guys with the best control, Brauzinho, Philip, Victor, Ricardo, etc. To score more than the other guy, they're doing stall doubles, which is the progression, because you go a lot higher, and basically that's going to score more. Whereas I think it takes just as much skill, if not more skill, to be able to do the really horizontal, smaller double in lighter winds or basically off chop. And for me, that's the goal. And sometimes I do it, and sometimes I don't. And so I just got to try and figure out, what makes it work and what doesn't. And that's just part of the process. I don't think it's an easy move, and I think if it was, then more people would do it. And I guess, those guys are the best in the world, so,
right.
Yeah.
A little bit on the technical side, because I know windsurfers love the technical side, and also a little bit of marketing for your brands.
Yep.
So what's your technical equipment this year? What are the novelties? What is that is really working for you, and what are you testing?
Yeah. So in regards to boards, I'm riding 72 Ultra Code from Starboard and the 76 most of the time. In conditions like the Canaries, where it's moderate to strong winds, cross on, it's a little bit more of a parallel outline, which suits the majority of conditions that we sail in. Even in WA, like around home, parallel outline helps give you more speed through the turn and make the most of conditions that aren't really...
so is it V double concave, or how is it?
Yeah, so we have a little bit of V up until the mast track and a little bit of double concave, and then coming into the tail, a little bit of tail kick. So it's really quite a simple board, and it's designed to be easy.
So 3-fin or a quad? Or?
Yeah, I use 3-fin most of the time.
So you can set it up as you want.
But you can set it up as a quad if you want. Yeah, it's designed to just sail and plane and be really easy to maneuver around, but I feel like it's a really good combination for both going fast and jumping, but also being as progressive as I want to be wave riding as well. And then in the light winds, I've been using the Starboard Air, which is based off Stone Surf Design sort of stealth model, I guess,
right.
Which
so
is that really
the
short,
square nose,
yeah,
the
really short parallel model. And that's just a little bit more extreme version of the Ultra Code, really parallel, short, designed to basically go fast and carry your speed through the turns and be nice and whippy off the top. And I actually use that as a quad. I just feel like, in conditions where they're not very inspiring normally, that sort of board can just get you up and going, and you have a lot more fun than you normally would.
So a couple more questions on the board. What sail size, what bore volume do you use normally in like right wind conditions?
Yeah.
And what's the difference between a 3 and a quad?
Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm on 4.4 and below, I'll normally use 72.
What's your weight?
I'm about 72 kilos as well.
So your body weight in volume?
Yeah, in Pozo, when it's really windy, sometimes I'll actually use a 68
Right.
custom as well. But this year I actually stuck to the 72 the whole time. I just felt like with those mushy waves that a little bit of volume
Place
helped.
like Naralu, what would you say?
72 and 76, depending on the wind. Yeah, if it's light, if it's 4.4, a little bit light or above, I'll use 76. Whereas if it's windy on 4.4 and I'm, you know, or on 4.0, 3.6, I'll use 72.
You're never on a 5?
I'll go up to 5.2, and that's when I'll use a 76. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, thruster and quad.
Yeah.
I've grown up using a thruster. I generally use quite flexy fins in the rear of my board, and I like that feeling, and I just feel like with the thruster I have a little bit more control in regards to when my fins release, and also how quickly I can bring the
So you
back
can
of my
spin,
board.
you can slash them if you want, is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
if I want, but also I can bring it back underneath me really quick and control it. Whereas the quad, I just feel like it takes me that half a second longer, and it still feels really good, but I just prefer.
Because more like
the
being on a
thruster.
rail, right? It's like very...
Yeah, it's different feelings. Like you look at Brauzinho, he rides quads most of the time, and he's probably one of the most, if not the most on-rail windsurfer there is. And
Kaoli rides 3, no?
Cali rides a little bit of both. Yeah.
Victor is on 3 fins, I think?
He's on both as
On
well.
both as well?
Yeah. So I think it just depends on preference. I think it depends on style and the fins you use, the kind of waves you're riding as well. And I would just tell people to try a little bit of everything, find out what works for them in all conditions. Like as I said, I use thruster in high winds and I use quad in light winds, you know, whereas some of those guys like Brauzinho might use a quad most of the time at Hookkeeper, whereas in Zilt he might jump on a thruster, for example, and the same as Victor.
Right. Thank you. Just a little bit on sales now. What's new with Severance? I've finally, you know, found the place where Severance are born, and you know, all sailors in Australia are on Severance. Like, you know, 80% of the sailors are on Severance. What's new with the 2019 range, actually?
Yeah, so this year the 2019 S1 Pro is generally what I use. Basically this year we made that a little bit more stable for jumping and a little bit more powerful as well. So that was something that was really important to Dieter, Ben and I, was just increasing the stability in the air with jumping, but keeping, you know, that liveliness on the wave as well, being able to switch the power on and off. So I feel like that's something we did really well. The other big change that we've made this year is actually making the normal S1 more similar to the S1 Pro. So it's the same pattern, and I've been using that quite a bit over, well, basically over spring, and now into summer I'll be using that a lot. And so it's just a cheaper version basically, but it's more affordable. It's really strong, and I've been jumping it and wave riding it. I used it in Nalu in September. And to be honest, you know, if you want a really high-end product that's as light as you can get, and you know, as good as you can get, yeah, the S1 Pro is amazing, but the S1 is a really good compromise if you want to save a bit of money, and you know.
Are they durable as well?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the other thing is, you know, with the waves that we wave ride, you know, it's kind of inevitable that you're going to sometimes
on the reef.
Yeah, end up on the reef and get a little hole here or there. So the S1 is also a very easy sail to repair. And the S1 Pro is just that high-end product, I guess. So if you want to spend a little bit more money and, you know, get something that's really, really light and quite unique, there's, you know, not as many numbers of those either, then that's the sail. But I would highly recommend the S1 as a sail as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jaeger, for your time. You were very patient and very informative. I hope the guys back home will appreciate this, and best luck for your competition. You're just back on the water, right? I mean,
yeah, I'll give it a go this afternoon and just see how I feel. If it's a bit sore, I won't bother, but we'll see.
so I cannot say break your leg because you've done that already.
Yeah.
Best of luck.